Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, all other configurations of being. Welcome to a special episode of a, non-co-op episode, which, honestly, we're not playing video games. We're just going to do something just a little, well, fun. So, the joke is that, I saw a video with, Robert Downey Jr. talking about, it was a GQ video, and he was talking about his, watch collection, and I'm saying to myself, well, he's got an impressive watch collection. I mean, he only has, like, I think it was, like, 6 or 7 watches or something like that. Now, granted, these watches are, like, thousands of fucking dollars. But then I looked at my watches, which I own 30 right here, some right here, and a couple right here, which is a grand total of 50 watches. And, let's just have fun, just go through it with them, and, kind of make fun of the GQ video of Robert Downey Jr. All respects to him, because, we all love him. So, let's begin. I've always felt that you could learn a lot about a man if you open up his jewelry box. Chokers, little ringlets. In my case, it's watches. I think by the time when we're done with this arbitrary watch collection, I think you'll know more about me than anybody else on Earth. So, let's begin. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful watch in my opinion. It is you know what? I actually got them written down. It is actually an Invicta model 3290, and it kind of looks like a little bit of like a Breitling in a way. I mean, I like it. It looks fairly stylish and all, and it's just kind of plain, but also still has like some panache. This right here is one of my favorite watches, actually. It is a Movado Series 800. Yes, it's a Movado Series 800. I gotta look at it. And it's really nice. The casing and everything, all mirror chrome and everything. And the story about this is, I'm mostly into Invicta, so most of these watch collections you're gonna find out is all gonna be Invicta. But the reason I have a Movado is because my grandfather has a had a brother-in-law who worked in a Movado company and actually made him a custom-made Movado watch with his name on it. Then my father, when he graduated from high school, his parents got him a nice 14-karat gold Movado, and I just decided to get myself a Movado, even though I'm not a big fan of the whole classic style of Movado, but I got this one, and I fell in love with it because it had like a sports look with still the classic Movado look. Next watch. This one right here is a Tag Heuer, and honestly, I love this one. This one is actually kind of a gift. Long story short, I actually owned 3 Tag Heuers. The first one my mother got me, the second one I got myself, and the third one was actually this one. The reason I got this one was because I liked the digital part and the analog part, because I always liked digital watches, so I always try to go more tech than anything. But I sold the one my mother got me, which I know is kind of messed up, but I used that money to get this watch, and I still have the automatic watch, but I'm trying to sell that one because maybe I got one too many boxes. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a Breitling, and this one I just recently got, and it, like I said, I'm always trying to go, full, like, automatic, not automatic, I'm sorry, full analog and digital parts. So this one is a Breitling Aerospace This one right here is a Invicta model 1692 Kudo, or Kudro. It's a classic, one of the classic ones, actually. This one, I love the band on this, and honestly, I was thinking about buying just the band and making a bracelet out of it, just so I can have just the bracelet part, because this is just a beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship. I mean, the band itself is just all like a snake scale, and I love that type of look. It's just awesome. What we got right here is a Invicta Intrinsic. Now, once again, this one's, automatic and digital. Oh my god, it's analog and digital. I'm gonna keep saying automatic, aren't I? The Intrinsics are actually pretty good, but I always keep seeing all these Intrinsics. They're all crazy and everything, but this one's kind of nice. I like this one. It's kind of basic, but still has like that cool look to it, and I like it. one right here is actually a Invicta Subnoma 5, and I actually had this custom made by myself. It is a red Noma 5, and it originally had a silicone band, but I swapped it out to a metal band, but it was all clear, and I painted all the red enamel paint in there myself. And I actually made this watch, increase in value basically because, I'm just awesome that way. I don't know. Jokes aside, this actually is an interesting watch, or the story is actually interesting with this one. This is actually my first watch that I started collecting. This is actually just a wall tan. You can just get this in any drugstore. It's actually really hard to find this in a drugstore. They don't make these anymore. But this is what got me into watches, basically. The analog digital type of part, and that's why I like this one. It's one of my favorite ones, even though it's not Invicta. Nothing special about this watch, honestly. This one is just a Pro Diver. It just looks nice, because, nice and big, and that's all about, Invicta. Everything's gotta be big. This one right here is actually my fiance's favorite watch, or one of her favorite watches, even though she hates all my goddamn watches. It's actually the Bone Collector watch. It is, it looks like it's from Avenged Sevenfold, the symbol on the bottom and everything, so I guess that's why she likes it, because she loves Avenged Sevenfold, so... This one right here is my Twisted Metal watch, I like to call it. Well, pretty much that's actually what it's called. It is a Invicta, Intrinsic, I think? No, not Intrinsic, Excursion. Oh, they got so many goddamn names. It is a... Excursion, that's what it's called. And, I just liked it because of the band, but I also liked it because of the face, because it had, well, it looks like it's got Mickey Mouse on it, but honestly, it's got all, the wired fence and everything, and that's why it's called Twisted Metal. This is something that I would like to call a Clint Eastwood watch, because this is actually an Invicta Magnum. This watch has actually got two watches, one on the bottom and one on the right on the top. And it is a beautiful masterpiece. And recently they just came out with the tourbillons, the one with a little open heart and everything, the thing spins. It's cool. But I like this one. This is an interesting watch. This is actually an Invicta Transatlantic. This is actually two watches in one. And I'm going to show you a really cool trick about this one, because I actually custom made this watch. Because originally this watch has this face, but when I open it up like this...
I think it's time to blow this thing.
When I open it up like this, I twist it, and look, it's got a different face. And it's so cool. And the face that's on this one is actually not the original face. This is a naked bomber chick. So I call this the Invicta Transatlantic Bomber watch, which is not really the bomber, because the bomber was a different watch which I'm actually trying to sell. But this one, I swapped out the face and everything, and it's awesome. Right here is more sentimental than anything, because in all honesty, this is actually my very, very first Invicta watch that I actually got. Nothing too special about it. I mean, the price of it online is like $600, but I paid like $50 online. It was my first watch that I had that had the chronographs and the buttons and everything. It was like $50, and I liked it. It was really cool. And it's my first Invicta watch I ever gotten. This watch right here took me a very, very long time to find, but I found it. It's another analog digital watch. It's an Invicta Coalition Force. It's really nice. It originally had a leather band, but I swapped it out to a titanium band for it, because the whole entire watch is actually titanium, so I matched it all up. So the watch it looks pretty heavy, but it's quite light because it's titanium, and it's really awesome. And the things, I think, has a compass inside. I don't know. one's also another titanium watch, which is also pretty cool because of the way you set the time is with this like little bolt action type of thing. It's like I call it my sniper watch, but it's another Invicta Coalition. Also really cool just because of the sniper. It also has chronographs and everything. So. Yet again, here's another analog digital watch. It's a Noma 3 analog digital, a limited edition actually, so it's pretty cool. I actually like to call this my Pac-Man watch because if you see in the light or the reflection, which you can see a little bit up closer, which you probably were looking at it, the digital part is shaped like it's Pac-Man going ha walk 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 walk. The funny story about this watch is actually I owned 3 watches and sold all 3 to get this watch. This is a Invicta X-Wing watch. Now, let's pause right here for 1 second. I owned 2 Star Wars watches. I had a Darth Vader one, I had a Boba Fett one, and I sold those, and I made a profit with them, which was pretty cool. And then I had another X-Wing watch, and then I sold that one, and I used the money for that to get another X-Wing that was Star Wars. So I combined 3 watches into one. I get an X-Wing Star Wars watch. It's an X-Wing Invicta. This watch is really special. I actually got this after I got engaged in Disney World. It's actually, my Disney watch. And it's cute and everything. I mean, I'm not a super big fan of Disney, but since, I got engaged in Disney, I might as well get a Disney watch. So I got this one. It feels like it's a touch of Disney, but still doesn't feel like it's a touch of Disney because it's like vomit Disney inside, and still, it's nice. I like it. So, and it's my engagement watch. This is a Invicta Atomic. It's also analog digital, which these are like impossible to find, honestly. And I like the way how this one looks. It's kind of classic, but also has it's very subtle with the digital part. And apparently, it's impossible to change the time. But I figured out a way because awesome. This watch right here is actually a Batman watch because I'm a big fan of Batman. But when Invicta first came out with their Batman or DC lineup, I didn't like it. But when Jim Lee designed a Batman watch, they designed this one. It's a Lupa, I think that's what they call it. Lupa? I don't even know what it's called. But honestly, the band looks awesome. Looks like Batman. The watch is awesome. It looks like Batman. It's Batman. I got a Batman watch. I'm Batman. And of course, without Batman, you can't have Batman without the Joker, so I got myself the Joker watch. And this one's really interesting because this is actually a Swiss movement. It's the only watch they have that says Swiss movement. And here's even a bigger interesting thing that I got. The Joker watch does not have a silicone, it only has a silicone band, does not have a metal. I swapped this out with a metal band, and I got rid of the silicone, because I like metal bands better than, anything else. So I've actually increased the value of this watch. If anything, if I'm able to get the middle in purple to match up the Joker style, then, oh yeah, I would so do that and probably increase this watch threefold, so, yay. There's nothing too interesting about this watch. I mean, it's nice. I like this one because of the band and the color. I love black and red, so the color just made it cool. It's actually a Jason Taylor Invicta, so it's all cool and everything. But the cool story about this one is that when I got this, I got it at the Invicta store, and I also got a free trip. They do the Invicta cruise and everything. When I got this watch, they said, "Oh, well, now you got the the free trip and cruise." Fortunately, I never went. So now we're down to the Avengers lineup, actually. So this one is Captain America. Nothing special. And here's Iron Man. Nothing special. Now this one's kind of interesting story because this is actually the Punisher one. Now this is actually the newer models because I used to had the older Punisher model, and then I sold that one and I got this one because this one just looked better. Had the two guns on the side, but you can't see them. It's like etched in or engraved in or lifted in, or I don't know how you pronounce that, but whatever. It's cool. I like this one. This one's the Black Panther watch. Again, nothing too special about this one. However, the band is metal. This model actually does not have a metal band. It has a silicone band. I was able to get the black band from Spider-Man and brush out the blue and actually make it, gray to make it look more Panther. This one is the Spider-Man watch. Nothing special. One's the Thor watch, actually. And what was kind of funny was because when I got this, I think I got this at the store. Actually, I don't remember where I got this. I might have went into the store and probably got it, and it was like a buy one get one free type of thing. And I told them in the store, like, you got to do like a combo sale. Like, you got to sell Thor with Hulk and call it the Ragnarok combo, or what is it? Captain America and Iron Man, the Civil War combo, or Captain America and the Punisher, the Soldier combo. This one is the Hulk. Of course, this one's nice and big. I think this is an Invicta Octo. I think that's what they called them. I actually originally had the other Thor, which is, small and everything. It even had a silicone band. Once again, swapped it out to a metal band, and then I gave it to somebody else because I didn't want it. Because I got this one, because this one is just obviously so much better. Now we're finally up to the automatic watches. This one is actually really, really cool. This one is a Invicta. Most of these are just all Invicta Venoms and just reserves, but they're all automatic chronographs, and they're like expensive and like impossible to get. This one they've only made 150 out of it, and I don't even know which one this is. It's probably somewhere in the back, but I'm not going to tell you because it's going to. These two used to be like my prized possession because they only made 100 of these. They've only made 100 of these. And both of them are, one's a black face, one's a blue face and everything, and they're pretty much priced the same, and they made the same movement and everything, and they're just awesome. And it was impossible to get these, but I'm happy about these. This one actually is my very first Venom automatic. Once again, one of these, automatics are like impossible to get. Actually, 500 of these were actually made, and this one I think I got it like on Amazon or something, and it was pretty expensive. It was like 500, but I think I got a pretty good deal on this one, and they priced this out like X amount of dollars, where it's like ridiculously expensive. And this one I like. This one right here is nothing too much to brag about, and it's nice, it's pretty, it's a Rolex. It's actually a rep, but this one's a really, really beautiful Rolex, and if I was going to get a real Rolex, it would be this one. It is a Rolex Day-Date with a presidential band, and the diamonds and the markers, and I love this. Not get you all too upset. I actually do own a Rolex, a real Rolex. I actually had it authenticated and everything. This is actually Air King. It's pretty affordable at the time, but I actually made this more pretty and everything. I actually opened up the back and put a crystal in there, and actually you could see the movement and everything. I even gave it a presidential band and everything, so I actually made this watch even more valuable than it already is. It's a Rolex. I'm a big James Bond type of fan, and I love James Bond movies, and the watch that he has was the Omega Seamaster, and I actually got the same exact model. I had the Omega Seamaster 1995 model that was worn in GoldenEye, so this one's also a really nice watch, and it's an automatic, and I love the fact that it's an automatic, because I love automatics. And to add to the, the Marvel collection, I got Deadpool. And this one's a really funny one. I was actually wanting to modify it just a little bit more. I wanted to change out the hands to make it swords instead of like those little pointers, but right now it just says Taco Time, and honestly, I still like it. It's Deadpool. This watch is actually really cool. It's a Lupa, and it's a titanium, and it's it's a titanium automatic. And it's really interesting about this watch is because I got this after my niece was born, and I call it my Izzy watch. I got this right after my niece was born, Isabella, and I call her Izzy. It's my little Luna Izzy watch, because her middle name is Luna, so I call her my Lupa, or my Luna, or just my Izzy watch. This one's really cool. I actually like this one. The way how it was presented to me before, it was presented in a glass box and everything from Invicta, and it was just a piece that I just had to have. It's a skeleton automatic, and these are pretty expensive. They're not easy to come by. But if I'm not mistaken, this is an Invicta Noma 1, so I think I have most of the Nomas except Noma 2. Something like that. Nothing too special about this watch. This is actually a Invicta S1 Rally. It's full titanium and everything. It just looks nice. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a Swiss movement. It is not a Swiss movement. Okay, so it's a piece of shit.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Now this one right here is actually a Swiss movement, but this is actually not an automatic, it's a mechanical. This one has to be wound up. This is a Invicta Noma 3 jump hour. I think they call it the 4.4, and it's a collector's edition, and this one's taking a break from Invicta, we actually have an Android watch, and I know you're thinking, oh, Android as in like, you know, the phones and Androids. No, the actual brand is called Android. The reason why I got this watch, it is they call it a flying tourbillon. The second hand is actually the open heart is what they call it, but the thing actually fucking moves. It spins around and it actually mimics the second hand. And it's just a brilliant masterpiece is how they do that. I mean, most of these watches are only made mechanical, but this one's automatic. This is actually a really interesting story, because the funny thing is that this is my first Invicta automatic watch that I actually got. Now, here's the story about this one. When I first got this, it was a Japanese movement and everything, and I didn't like that, so then I upgraded it to a Swiss movement, so I traded it out and everything, and I got this same exact one, and technically this is my first automatic Invicta watch, and it's awesome. This one's also another jump hour, which I actually do like the jump hours, meaning that they're just, you know, the hours is basically there on the clock, and basically looks like a digital watch, but not really. It's an automatic. So, yeah, pretty cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the watch, but the only reason why is because of the leather band. I'm not a big fan of leather bands, they break easily. I always want to try to see if I can get this into a metal band or any type of other band, but this is actually a Ghost, what do they call it, Invicta... They actually called this one the Invicta Sapphire Ghost Automatic Skeleton, if I'm not mistaken. That's the full title, so pretty good. this one I actually did get to change out the band. This one's actually a Invicta S1 Rally, the Dragon with the open heart and everything. Now the band was silicone band. The band actually looked really nice, but again, it was silicone, and I changed it out to something a little bit more Dragon scale type of thing. Yeah. This one right here is actually a Man of War. It is beautiful Swiss movement and everything, nice and big, bulk. It's got two chronograph faces that are mother of pearls, is what they call it. And it is just a piece of work, this watch.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
This one's actually really interesting in the way how they crafted this watch. It's actually, they call this an Invicta Prowler or something like that. It is skeleton prowler is what they call it, because the hour hand is actually the face of the actual watch, and when the hour starts moving, it basically, you can see how the inside of the actual watch and everything. So I actually thought that was really cool, and I just decided to get this one, and it was Swiss movement as well. Last and certainly not least is probably one of my most expensive watches that I actually do own, aside from my Rolex, is actually another Invicta, and it's the last one, is my Invicta Leviathan. I think that's what they call it. Yeah, Leviathan from the Reserve model. I call this my wedding watch because this watch was actually has a total of 1.46 carats of diamonds, and it's a beautiful piece of work, and I just had to get it and everything. And I kept looking online for it and everything, going crazy. And I actually got a really good price from Invicta themselves, from a liquidation sale and everything, and I was just lucky. And I think I'm gonna wear it now. I call it my wedding watch because, you know, I feel like she's got more diamonds than me, so I decided to bling it out myself. So that's it for my watch collection. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this. This was just a parody from like Robert Downey Jr.'s little GQ video, so I thought I'd just take a little hint and try to do it myself. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.